Well, it's low float season. Let's talk about it. You dig? Yo, it's your boy, The Builder, back with another episode of the Builder Destroy podcast. Man, we got a good episode today. It's low flow season. You know, that time in the OTC where, you know, small cap gems start to come alive due to spikes in volatility, spikes in, price fluctuation due to people, injecting, amounts of money in the market in certain plays, predicated upon, the float, really. That's where a lot of this shit stems from. Low flow stock in general, you know, is just like the name suggests, it's a stock that has a relatively low float. You know what I'm saying? So what's a low float? I mean, basically, the float can be summarized as, you know, the total number of unrestricted shares not held directly or indirectly by an officer, director, or any person uh, who is the beneficial owner of more than 10% of the total shares outstanding, i.e., a controlled person or affiliates thereof, or immediate family members or officers, directors, control persons. In so many words, in layman's terms, you know what I'm saying? To keep it like all the way, a buck, which is basically just like the amount of shares that are unrestricted after everybody, after Reg A investors, after, note holders and things of that nature. Like once you take all their shares and then you just subtract it from the big number, you know what I'm saying? So like let's say a company had outstanding share count, which is basically the shares that are outstanding. They're standing outside. You know what I'm saying? They're right there for all to see, right? That's like the grand total. Well, the float, which is actually able to be traded, from the in the public, that's like the stocks that's like on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? Everything else that's restricted is in the back of the store. It's in the back, way in the back in the inventory, locked away in a cage or some shit. Like it's not really gonna hit the floor. It's almost like it's on hold for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Somebody already bought it and they just for whatever reason aren't picking it up from the store anytime soon. So it's just sitting there. The store is like holding it, in trust, basically. Everything else on the shelves that you see, that the public sees, is the public float. That's what's able to be traded back and forth between people. So let's say a company had a share count of like 125 million, which is still relatively low, right? Anything, in my opinion, anything under like, you know, a quarter billion shares, which is like, 250 million shares up to, 500, million shares is pretty low. That's pretty low, especially for the OTC. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty low. That being said, once you start getting under 200, now you're getting into like really like gnarly territory where like stock can have like really violent moves to the upside, based on, increase in volume, based on, catalytic news, potent news, catalyst, type news, that the market is kind of like wanting to hear, that the market wants. It can move, really fast in a day. For example, we're gonna look at, a few tickers, but um, one in particular is XCPL. It moved 400% in a day, pretty much. A lot of people were like, damn, that's a lot of percentage. It's a high percentage in one day. It's like that's nothing. Like it was a stock that moved, 2,500% in a day. Like last week or something like that. And today, for the record, today when I'm recording this is July 23rd, 2022. So for anybody that want to get the time on that, but it was a week ago from this date. It moved like 2,500%, in a day. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? People made a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Now, I just want to address some things before I elaborate on this low float season, right? People have a tendency to try to ragdoll, traders and investors, right? Especially in the OTC when they don't, how can I put it? Like when they don't, catch certain plays early. You know what I'm saying? When they don't see certain things early, and when they're not looking for certain things early, and that goes back to what I always preach about. Like you have to learn the game. Like when I say learn the game, people think I'm being really vague because they're just like, oh, you just say learn the game. Like you're not really teaching me anything. It's like I'm teaching you plenty because I'm telling you that this is a game. And what do all games have in common? Layers, multiple tiers of rules. Some rules can be bent, some rules can be broken, some rules can be finessed, some rules are just there as a placeholder. They're not really a rule. It's just there to kind of weed out undesirables, like people that are scared. They that because they see this rule sitting here, or this unwritten rule, or this tribal knowledge, or whatever. It fucks with their brain to where they can't make a decision for themselves. So there's a lot of stuff in the game, what I'm saying, the quote unquote, that messes with people's minds, especially new people that get into the game, and that could really play a role when it comes to stocks, in particular low float stocks, right? Because lately, ever since all these low floats have been starting to move and really rip and and have these crazy runs, right? Even though it's premature, a lot of this stuff is premature. I don't see the crazy shit really popping off until August, September, mid August through September. Really, I don't really see the market really going ham until then, So we're still in loading season, and for anybody that's not making money or not going to make money, is because you aren't really paying attention to the market. You're not really actively looking for plays, actively looking for plays with catalysts, actively looking for plays with healthy share structures, right? In a bear market, let me tell you something. In a bear market, and this is just me, I'm just speaking for myself. In a bear market, from my experience, the plays that always have a chance at running heavy, despite the market, despite what's going on outside, despite what wars going on, despite inflation, despite whatever, are stocks with what? Limited supply, high demand. Limited supply, high demand. That's a recipe for making money, because you have less stock to trade, right? But everybody got something in common. Everybody want to make money. Everybody looking for the next best thing. Everybody looking for the big runner, right? But they're not really thinking about it in terms of a set it and forget it type thing, or it's almost you gotta look at a low flow stock like a stick of dynamite with a very long, wick to it. It might take a while before that wick actually hits the dynamite stick and blows up. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it, but a lot of low float plays are very indiscriminate patience style plays. Yeah, they move on catalysts, but usually low float stocks, you don't know when the news is really going to drop. You don't know how significant that news is going to be. You don't really You don't know how the market's really gonna react. They can put out really awesome news, man, and the market could just not be feeling it. It don't matter. But the one thing about a bear market, especially in a bear market when it comes to OTC, the companies that are putting out tangible news, right, that are going to either lead to revenue in the short term to mid term, um, or companies that put out tangible news, that's related to something innovative that's actually going to be highly talked about or that has already been highly talked about, and now they're kind of segueing into that. Like, that's a setup. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. That's a setup for like future money, future success. Like, these are the bear market is when companies like take a strong stance on like building themselves up fundamentally for the bull market. So like the stage is already set by the time the bull market comes back around. Now people have a whole treasure trove of information to comb over and say, well, damn, look at all the shit they built while the market was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they kept grinding. Like, they kept, improving the product. They kept pushing the product. They kept doing mergers and acquisitions. They kept forming strategic partnerships. They kept, bringing in revenue producing acquisitions, revenue producing partners, whatever, whatever it might be. Like, long as it led to something positive. Like, it might not have an immediate effect right now because the market sentiment as a whole sucks, right? Everybody's just like down in the dumps. I don't want, man, I'm not making no money. Everything sucks. Don't show me anything. Like, nobody wants to see nothing. It's like a big fog. Like, nobody wants to see anything, right? Everybody's just like ignoring everything because it's like, I hate it and I don't want to look at it, and I've lost so much money from last year, and I don't want to risk it, and that. So like, people have this brain fog, and they forgot why they even got into the game in the first place. They forgot that they can take a loss. They forgot that the market moves in waves. They forgot that everything oscillates. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very weird how a lot of time people think. But just to touch back on what I was saying about the low flow, it's low flow season, and all that means is that companies with very limited share count, low floats, um, are gonna move violently because people can scout really quick. Uh, they can get quick gains or monster gains, depending on the company, the catalyst, the timing. Like I said, it was a company that moved 2,500%. Just in a day, OTC. That's crazy. And then this company, the other day, it moved damn near 400% in a day. It jumped up from like 0 point, was it 0035 to like, it broke 2 cent before it got rejected and came back down. I think a lot of that might have had to do with some dilution, or just people just really taking profits, or people jumping out and taking some profit and leaving some on the table because it's a gap. Like, the market makers pretty much gapped that shit up ridiculously pre-market. Like, it shouldn't have jumped. Like, it should have jumped that high. Let me say that it should have jumped that high based on the volume or whatever that came in. However, like, I feel like a lot of times the algos or whoever's running this shit, like the market makers, like, they know what they're doing because they'll create gaps in the chart for no reason at all. Like, that, it would have hit 2 cent throughout the day if they would have just let it open up regular at yesterday's close or whatever. If it would have just opened up and then gradually went up, like, it did not have to spike like that. Like, it had a giant violent spike. It had a giant candle, giant green dong at the beginning of the day, created this huge gap. I think the gap is like, I think the gap started at like 004, maybe 005, if I'm not mistaken. I'll look at the chart here in a second, but um, yeah, man, it's just like let me pull it up now because like I'm losing my thoughts on this, but let me pull it up now. That way I can talk about it more intelligently. So 1 second. All right, so check it out. I got it pulled up here. Let's check it out right quick. I'm gonna draw a line there. So yeah, the gap. I mean, damn, bro. Like, that's ridiculous. So pretty much, you got a gap between 005 and about 1 cent. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, like, when they took advantage of this spike. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this spike. You see that long, that thin wick or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people were taking profits. It was like it was trying to like do something throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, eventually it came back down to earth. And I expected to come down and feel this at some point. I would like it. I hate to say it, but I would like it to, because just for more healthier trading, smoother trading. Like, I'd hate for this thing to like go crazy Monday and like just rip like that. Like, I'm not saying I hate making money, but I'm just saying like it eventually is going to cause a lot of problems, because the sentiment is going to be like, oh well, this is a giant gap. This is a giant gap. Oh, look at this gap. This is a giant gap right here. This needs to fill. This needs to fill. Like, that's all you're gonna hear until this damn thing fills. And honestly, a lot of people, since they seen how easily it moved to was it the high of the day, 209. Since they seen how easy it moved that high off of this little increase of volume that came in. You know what I'm saying? Since they've seen that, right, they're going to be looking at it like in terms of, well, I'll buy it down here. I'll buy it at 005. This is where they want to buy it. They want to buy it down here because they know at least it'll get a gap fill spike, right? So it'll come down. It might wick into here, and then form a new support, between 005 and a penny, until it comes all the way back down here to this blue line, this bottom blue line, fill completely, and then I would like it to fill completely and then keep moving. That's just me, because like I don't really want to hear, oh, there's a gap, and like, because like a lot of people, like, they're going to be turned off by buying it no matter how high it goes, because like, believe it or not, especially in a bear market, like, gaps get exposed relatively easy in a bear market, because for one, sentiment plays against it, and two, like, chart dynamics kind of dictate that it needs to, in order for it to have a really healthy chart, it needs to fill, and nobody can deny that gap. Like, no, especially, and I would rather it fill the gap initially from the onset and get it out the way, get the pain out the way, give people more buying opportunity that didn't get in down here, even though they had plenty of time to buy. Like, when it was, look how low it was. It's just been churning along, for months. Nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really gave a damn. You know what I'm saying? And then it went down to like 003, 0033, something like that, and some accumulation started, obviously, because people like to buy cheap shit. So, and it's a low float. The buzz started. People started talking about it. I started posting some things about it. I posted some DD on my Twitter about it to my followers. Nobody really looked at it though. Like, it was only like, I think I only got like 2 likes on it. So like, nobody really was feeling it, because they were just like, oh, whatever. Like, either they just didn't see it, or they didn't see the potential in it because it's just like, well, whatever. But I know for a fact we're in low flow season, so in my mind, I'm looking at it like, well, shit, like that's a quick flip. Either way you look at it, it's like a no-brainer, man. Like the float, like let's look at the float. I got OTC markets pulled up right now. We can do this right now. So you got XCPCNL Business Service Corporation. Go to the company profile right quick. So, Business Services Corporation, Delaware corporation that operates through wholly owned subsidiary XCPCNL Business Corporation. Company helps consumer retailers tell their story with a professional suite of marketing and sales enabled services consisting of in-store product demos, field services, inbound and outbound call centers, and digital product development and customer experience management. Like the digital product development and customer experience management part was the part that stuck out to me the most. And you'll see why in a minute. But go to security details. This pretty much gives you like the rough overview of what you're looking at. Like I said, look at this market. Like it was a no-brainer because the market, like right now, the market cap since the 22nd, it rose obviously over $1 million, but the market cap was like under $1 million. It was under $1 million when I bought in. I bought in at 003, and the market cap was like five, maybe 600,000, some shit like that. It wasn't even over $1 million. Like it only went over $1 million because like I said, people started buying it. But like look at look how low that market cap is, and then look at the authorized shares. The authorized shares, it was 1 billion authorized shares. Then they reduced the authorized shares by 250 million, which is almost like unheard of these days in the OTC, right? Then you got the outstanding share count. Remember what I said about the float. So you got to take this number right here, right? This 162 million plus outstanding shares, and you subtract the restricted shares, which is like shares that's owned by officers and the CEO and Reg A holders and institutional investors, whoever, angel investors, whoever invested in it, right? This is what they have locked up. The restricted shares are pretty much locked away. So you subtract that by the outstanding shares, and then this is your actual float right here. This is what the float really is. It's about 85 million. That's super low. Like I remember a lot of companies, man, that had under like this amount. Like they moved, and I'm not gonna say the number because people are so sensitive about stuff like that, and I don't give price targets anyway. But like, let's just say it went really high. I've seen companies with way bigger share structures than this do dollar type, runs in a short time span. So like, it was a no-brainer for me. It was like really cheap. I got it on the cheap. I got a shit ton of shares on the cheap. It took a minute for my bid to fill because the price was kind of jumpy, but I got the shares that I wanted at the time. I will be buying more because I want to go long on this because of what they got going on. So let's look at the news and what interests me in the first place, basically. So you go to news, you're going to go down to this OTC disclosure and news service tab, and it pretty much gives you the whole rollout of what they've been working on. So I like starting at the beginning of whatever year that I invested in. I can always go back further, but like they basically, the company basically hit the reset button, in November, December last year. So they're basically, everything's new. Like they're moving in a whole new direction, new management, new owner, new everything. So like I'll go back to like January, you know what I'm saying? And here you go right here, yeah, December 14th. Business Services announced new business model following change of control and new management. So they announced it right there, like at the end of last year. Okay, boom, we got new management, new owners, somebody else took it over, yada yada. And I'm not gonna open up all these press releases. You can like do the. I want you to do all the due diligence yourself. I'll touch on certain things that interest me, but I mean this is why due diligence is important. This is why fundamental analysis is important. Be able to break down these companies and figure out like why it's even worth buying, not just because of the low float part. That's the enticing part. You know, that's like a sweet smelling perfume. You know, that's like an attractive. It's just like it's like an attractive feature. It's just something that attracts you. Like, oh wow, you know, it makes you take a second look. But like all the stuff right here in front of you, like these press releases and these updates, that's the conversation. You know, like what are they talking about? What's the conversation? Like how are they showing up? You know, what are they doing? You know, to hold my attention. Okay, you got my attention with the share count. Okay, that was easy. But like, what are you doing to hold my attention? What are you doing to make me want to talk to you? AKA invest my money and my time, my resources. Like, what are you doing to make me want to invest myself into you? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a relationship almost. You know, if you really want to like look at it that way, that's the easy way to look at it. You know what I'm saying? But basically, they started in December, right? New management came on. They they launched a new subsidiary. Then they dropped the corporate update. They started hiring people for their advisory board. A lot of people in the music industry, entertainment, things of that nature. Blockchain. Let me see. Let me see. Where is it? That's the authorized share reduction right here, and this came out in May. So this dropped in May, and this basically touches on them reducing the shares. Now think about it. The shares officially got reduced in July, so that's 2 months after this press release. So a lot of people like they saw the press release, maybe they saw it and was like, oh well, it hasn't happened yet, so whatever. Like it's a billion shares, but it took 60 days, damn near, to like kick in. You know what I'm saying? It took 60 days for it to officially like kick in. You know what I'm saying? And actually happen. Like the 750 million shares. You know, down from a billion. You know, so that's a 250 million share reduction. You know, and then like this recent news right here, this was really cool. And then I'm gonna double back because it ties into a previous press release. So a lot of people, this is why it moved, right? It was getting bought up. It was getting bought up Thursday. And then all of a sudden, like people are like, "Oh, somebody knows something. Somebody knows something." So it's like, okay, maybe some news is gonna drop. But I was already in, right? So the news drops. It says Business Services announces reverse merger with Sentiment Capital Holdings, right? So venture development business that leverages knowledge and skill experience in consumer product industry announced today that it has reached an agreement to conduct a reverse merger with Sentiment Capital Holdings, aka Sentiment. Sentiment is the world's first neurotech. Pardon me. Sentiment is the world's first neurotech enabled, for-profit, anti-bias driven machine learning company. Machine learning, that's artificial intelligence. Neurotech, artificial intelligence, right? So it says Sentiment is built on understanding neural data driven problems in artificial intelligence and utilizing neuroscience driven tools, technology, and apparatus to solve them. So it sounds like a bunch of big ass words thrown together. So a lot of people just be like, okay, get on with it. Like, how does this make me money? And it's like, man, read the shit. So it's like, in the effort to maintain full transparency, with each of the company's shareholders. Both parties have mutually agreed to address their long-term future together. So it's going to be a joint press release. Uh, once the actual merger is complete. So that's basically what this means. They're going to do a joint press release. Um, Reverse merger will involve a completely new management infrastructure with Tim Matthews, Micah Brown serving as co-CEOs until a qualified tech-based CEO is appointed. So that means they're doing some hiring. They want to bring on people that know what the fuck they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people are like, well, what do they know about this? What do they know about this? It's like, dude, they're running a business. They're building a business from the ground up. They just laid it out for you. What they like. This is like one of the biggest. This is one of the biggest things that's gonna kind of make the company what it is moving forward. This machine learning, acquisition. So it says Tim Matthews will be stepping down in approximately 60 days to facilitate the transition. Says XCP CNL Business Services asset will be merged with and into Sentiment Capital's assets. The company will also seek to have a name and ticker change. So we're getting a ticker change and a name change to reflect the actual course of the business. So like this is basically what you own. If you're already in this, what you own essentially is a low float, super low float OTC company, an AI company, AI like neural data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, right? That's what you own. You know what I'm saying? Like on for the low, like this is like big. This is a big deal to me. I'm not speaking for you. I'm not speaking for nobody else, but to me, to somebody that actually researches like in future paces and like looks at things that's going to be big in the future, right? AI is one of those things. Machine learning is one of those things. They use AI on you right now. There's algorithms mapping your phone calls, your text messages, like your search engine, web searches. Like that's why whenever like you ever have like a conversation with like a loved one or a friend or something, and then you go on Facebook or you go on Twitter or you go on Google, and all of a sudden you're getting all these ads and shit on these websites or whatever, and it's usually related to what you just got through talking about 15 minutes ago. That's not by coincidence. They're always listening. They're always learning. Big data is big. Data is big money. Taking humans' data and like using it to market shit to you and learn shit from you, like that's a thing. Like artificial intelligence is a thing, and it's going to be a bigger thing in the future. So like the fact that this company is basically an AI company, they're reverse merging, and then they're going to actually change the ticker, change the name, and they're going to be a AI company. It's an AI OTC low float company, basically. Just everything hasn't dropped into place yet, but just going off the press, like that's what's happening. So they're going to bring in qualified tech-based CEO. They're going to appoint him. Tim Matthews is going to step down in 60 days. So what's this? Press came out on the 22nd. So 2 months from now. So that's August 22nd, September 22nd. So end of September. So by the end of September, I expect the merger to be complete. That's not a lot of time. That's only 60 days away. That's 2 months. Like that shit gonna fly by like crazy. So you basically got like 60 days to accumulate. Like I'm accumulating more. Like I said, I'm going long on this because of this reason. Cause and then in that gap, I'm letting that gap fill too. Like I'm giving it some time to fill. Now, will people like try to like go ham and try to like push the price up? And I don't know. Will the market sentiment flip and then everybody decides to like bum rush it and like accumulate it, heavy? I don't know. Will the gap fill sooner or later? I think it should fill. I would hope it would fill sooner rather than later to avoid any BS down the road. But like I said, I've seen companies where they'll have an initial gap like this, and they'll just keep churning, man. They'll keep going. Volume will keep pouring in. Day after day, week after week. Of course, profits will get taken or whatever, but like for every time somebody takes profits, somebody will scoop up more shares that has more conviction in it, and then it'll keep rising steadily. So I've seen that happen. And like I said, it can't really go any lower than it is. Like it's only at a penny right now. It hit 2 cents, which was basically a 400% gain from where it was. And while that might be impressive, that's not really impressive. Like it's impressive on the short term because it's like, damn, 400%. But it's like, yeah, that's because it was one day. But it's like, try doing like, a couple 100% a week for like 8 weeks. What does that look like? Or more, because it can move higher than that because the float is so damn low. It's so low, ain't no telling how high it could go before the merger, is over with. You know what I'm saying? So you go into it a little bit more. It says both parties expect the merger to be complete over the next 60 days. The new company will operate under the name Sentiment Technology Group. So that's basically going to be the new name, Sentiment Technology Group. Another announcement will likely be made upon the complete closing of the transaction. Like I said, I'm looking towards the end of September for a press release to drop, letting everybody know, okay, the merger's officially complete, and this is how we're moving forward, things of that nature. So they have a Twitter. They always link their Twitter right here. For anybody that wants to know or whatever. But that being said, let's go back because now you just heard they're officially they're officially becoming, Sentiment, Technology Group, right? Like we just read that from the recent press. That's what the recent press just said. Sentiment Capital. It's gonna be Sentiment Technology. So, no, thought I went back to my news page. So, I got my news tab pulled back up, and this is long due diligence, man. This is like something that everybody can do. It's an acquired taste, yeah, but like everybody is capable of doing this. You just have to read. You have to really be into this shit. You have to really make it fun. Like it's fun. Like really finding out about where your money is going. You know what I'm saying? So if you go back to April's press, this was in April. Remember, we're in July now, and they just announced the reverse merger, the official reverse merger, right? So this was April. This is a press release from April 5th. It says XCP CNL Business Services announces first of announces launch of first product from Sentiment Capital's holding partnership. So it went from being a partnership to a merger, where Sentiment is actually like taking over. Sentiment's going to be the actual company, right? Now check this out. So they were basically originally partners with this company, and they were just going to launch some products in conjunction with this company, right? But why be partners when you can literally take your company public through a reverse merger? That's basically what this is. This technology company, this AI company, this blockchain company is doing a reverse merger back into the OTC. They're basically backdooring their way into going public via the OTC, which is something else I touched on a while back. I saw companies doing in the near future. But let's get into it. So it says Business Service Corporation, a venture development business that leverages knowledge, skill, and experience in the consumer products industry, is excited to announce phase 1 of its acquisition of Sentiment Capital. The further development and commercial application of Mantis Prime, a crypto trading platform. So Boom, right there. It's blockchain. It's crypto trading. So this was just the first product that they were going to roll out via this partnership with Sentiment. So it says Mantis Prime has developed a proprietary emotional search engine, EIQ, that utilizes neural data, AI, remember, machine learning, artificial intelligence to sense and predict emotional responses within any number of categories. This EIQ can predict movements in the market by analyzing public sentiment. In other words, the EIQ knows where the crowd is headed before the group becomes cognizant. This EIQ was initially developed at a hackathon at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So this technology was developed at MIT. They literally have this company literally has their hands on technology developed at MIT and the University of Kansas School of Medicine. Like, so this is like this shit really works. You know it really works. You know how everybody at MIT get down. Like this actually works. Like, this has been proven. And the fact that they had it at Hackathon, they wanted people to really like put it through its paces. So we know it works. Based on this. It says the EIQ can help serve as a signal generator by predicting market changes in prices in pricing. This means an individual can lead the crowd instead of studying it. EIQ allows for a quick reaction to a changing market and sets the call to action for others to follow. Via the company's crypto as a service platform, Manta Prime, which is a neuro AI enabled trading tool, will allow the processing of public news, data streams, and behavioral patterns to inform a long short trading strategy. Mantis Prime currently operates short on crypto positions driven by AI research and automated trading technology. The algorithms have high EQs, read markets, and apply neural-based sentiment models. Mantis Prime will be the proprietary trading business arm of XCP CNL once the acquisition of Sentiment is complete in 60 days from July 22nd. So all this is coming together. So as soon as the acquisition hits, boom, they'll probably make another announcement for this. They'll do an update for this Manta Prime proprietary trading business. And then it says right here, the commercial application is anticipated to be a 9-figure generator. Like low float AI technology developed at MIT, AI trading for crypto, stock, whatever, algorithmic trading, and it's estimated to be a 9-figure generator. This is just one thing. Oh, low float too, under 100 million. Like market cap only 100 and or only 1.6 million market cap. Like, come on, man. Like, it's a no-brainer for me. I'm not talking for you. I'm not talking for anybody else. I'm just saying this is the type of shit that goes on in my head when I'm like doing my research. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting it all together in my head, making my mind up on why I go long or go short or scalp or whatever on certain plays. But I'm going long on this simply because of this reason right here. The stock drops to fill that gap. Cool. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool with that. I bought it low anyway. My entry is so low, like, I'm up anyway. Like, either way you cut it, I'm up. I'm making hella money. So it's like, I'm good. But it says, we are beyond ecstatic to be in the commercialization phase with Micah and his team to finalize consumer financing for Mantis and complete the acquisition. This will be one of many consumer-centric products to be developed from this partnership, said CEO Tim Matthews. So basically, then it goes into like the components of what this platform actually is, right? So it says Components of Mantis Prime: trading entry system, algorithmic trading platform. Mantis Prime uses an algorithmic trading platform which is designed to carry out automated trading using supervised learning to place orders that require little to no human intervention. So AI trading bots, you know what I'm saying? Market price prediction system, equities. Mantis Prime news trading algorithm. Mantis Prime news trading algorithm and associated strategy are a custom piece of software and a set of databases that break down into stock selection, relationship modeling between stocks, event modeling, and instrument selection. And then it goes into market volume prediction algorithm for cryptocurrencies, aka HGEM. HGEM is an algorithm that predicts the action path of cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin. Trades for profit using machine. So it's another AI trading system. Trades for profit using machine learning derived from historical exchange behavior, emotional analytics based on top wallet holders. Trading APIs built into integrate into multiple crypto exchanges. The strategy is to place short, extreme, accurate second-by-second trades to achieve alpha on the resultant delta. And then you got the network event price impact algorithm. Excuse me. The application will combine news and information about mergers, acquisitions, and equity trades to generate actionable intelligence on any given asset class. Now that news network event impact algorithm makes sense on why they're trying to do this other acquisition that I'm going to touch on before we get up out of here. But like they have the SaaS solution, which says this is to be built. This is the to be built software as a service solution that allows clients to deposit funds and see returns using Mantis Prime automated equity and crypto trading algorithmic system. So this is basically this is a revenue. This is one of the revenue parts because people get to deposit money, pretty sure for a fee. It says the system analyzes social media data to predict, aggregate, and understand that data. In the context of Mantis Prime, the SaaS solution is used to scan the web with the crypto asset or equity being traded. So I mean, that's just two things, man. So you got the merger, and then you got this product that's dropping as soon as the merger is over. You know what I'm saying? I mean, dude, it's just it gets me excited because I'm just like, you know, I'm a blockchain head. I'm all into like innovative tech things of that nature. So, but before we get up out of here, I just want to touch on one more thing and why that matters. They started hiring advisory members a while ago, but this right here, this is it right here. So remember how they had the algorithmic news deal at the end of that that's related to that product. So in May 27th, they dropped this press release saying they signed a letter of intent to acquire communications, financial disclosures, and media market firm MCAP Media. Like, that's pretty big because they pretty much MCAP Media Newswire. You know, everybody should be familiar with that. You know what I'm saying? So let's check it out. For anybody that like is like they act like they don't know, or they just might not read into names too much or whatever, but it matters. See that right there? Like, I'm pretty sure people have seen these for press releases. You know, they're basically trying to acquire these people right here. They're going to acquire basically a stock and crypto press release company. You know, that's what their intentions are. So they signed this letter of intent. Yep. So it says professional holding company with a professional suite of cutting edge marketing and high impact sales is pleased to announce that it has signed a letter of intent to acquire MCAP Media as a wholly owned subsidiary, a premier provider of multimedia communications, digital media solutions, and financial disclosure service for microcap and exchange listed companies and their investors. So I mean, and they make revenue. You know, this is a revenue producing company. Like you say what you want, but like it's still revenue. Like everything they're doing is like bringing in revenue. So it says MCAP Media Wire is an established multimedia publishing firm with services that have generated year over year since 2017, including revenues of 1.2 million from February 2021 to February 2022 and growing. So revenue numbers are going up. People want good news, they want good press releases, etc., etc. They're trying to acquire this company, which I think plays a role in their AI system as well, especially if they can get this deal closed. It was the LOI was in May. We're in July now. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't hear anything about this August or September as well. So, just long story short, man, this is just like a quick rundown of a low float company. Uh, I'm not really promoting it or anything. Like I said, I do own shares. Just full disclosure, I own a position. I have a position in this company. You do what you want. I'm just telling you. I'm giving you a breakdown of how I do things, how I see things. You can take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. Like, do the research on it, read the filings, make up your own mind. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I have all the links posted on my bio, where you can reach out at me, get at me. My DMs are open. Hit me up on Twitter, tag me, message me, whatever. I will see it. Talk to me. I talk back. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't talk back, but I talk back. We can have a convo or whatever about it. Chop it up. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments what you think about this company. Let me know in the comments what you think about low float season. Like, what does low float season mean to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me know. Drop a 100 in the comments for me. If you was feeling this video. Like I said, I'm going to be dropping more content. I'm getting back into the groove of things. I got a lot of stuff going on in the background, working on a lot of business things. So I haven't really been putting out content a lot on the stock market, but I will be. I'm going to be going into NFTs, crypto stuff. I want to do interviews, et cetera, things of that nature. So, like, a lot of stuff, man, a lot of stuff to do, a lot of expansion. I'm just happy to be here. I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate, all of my subscribers that I do have. I appreciate all the future subscribers that I am going to have. This is a long journey. I'm just happy, like I said, I'm just happy to be here. I appreciate the journey, man. And let's just get this money together. Let's grow. Let's think abundance, and never stop. That's the motto. You know what I'm saying? Never stop. Always think abundance. One foot in front of the other. It's your boy, the Builder. It's the Builder Destroy podcast. You know what it is. Peace.